In this edition of Exploring Nevada, we step back in time as we visit several historic buildings in northern Nevada that played a key role in our state's colorful past. Local groups and volunteers are working hard to preserve and make use of these historic treasures. Our first stop is downtown Reno. There, commanding a front row seat on the Truckee River, stands a distinguished old church in the process of transformation.
The Lear Theater is one of those wonderful gems that has grown up inside a building that is really remarkable, and I'm not sure it's as appreciated as it should be. This is a fantastic structure designed by one of the most notable African American architects on the West Coast. And then within this building, this abandoned church, a magnificent theater is going to take form. And it really requires a lot of support from the people in the Truckee Meadows, but I assure you it will turn into something we can all be proud of.
And with me now to talk about the beloved Lear Theater in Reno is Susan Mays Smith, who is the Executive Director of the Theater Coalition. Susan, this is really an amazing project. What is it that causes the Lear Theater to be so near and dear to so many people?
Gwen, it's actually several aspects of the project that makes it so special. There's the history, which it was designed by famed architect Paul R. Williams in the 1930s, the first African-American architect of the American Institute of Architects. It was a Christian Science church, and many prominent people in Reno attended that church. And certainly this community loved Moya Lear, who passed on a year ago, and she put up the first $1 million to buy that church from the Christian Scientists and turn it into a theater. And many people have given money and support and interest to that project because of the magical feel and because of the beautiful architecture and certainly the setting down by the Truckee River. You may know that we've had to close down in order to renovate it completely. The code officials of the city said the electricity, the ancient structure, and certainly the plumbing could not take all of the impact because of the urgent need for that theater. Everybody loves it and wants to be there, but we've had to close down. We opened it up temporarily last summer for dance and theater and children's productions. Our Journey to the Center of the Art was presented there as well, and we used the outdoor lawn, the East Lawn, for Live at the Lear, and we drew many people here for joy and fun and true quality of production. The Lear Theater is not just a historical structure that we've slapped a few pints of or gallons of paint on to give got a new life. The new life is something that will last for generations, truly to come, that will allow people of all races and all ages and people from all over the world to come to Reno, to downtown, to be part of our arts and culture corridor, for which the Lear Theater is a true pillar. And the beautiful neoclassical pillars outside are exemplary of the fact that the theater itself is a pillar of our booming arts and culture movement here in Reno. So it will be known for its outdoor festivals in the expanded plaza, and it will be known for a business convention center, lectures, and then a whole children's family series that will include puppetry and dance and theater for the whole family.
It looks like you have a lot of work to do to get to that point.
We sure do, and with the help of all of our funders from the past and the Cultural Commission, the CCA has been so helpful. Clark and Sullivan, our contractors, they've given so much.
What are the actual architectural features that you're working on right now?
Right now, what's going on inside the building is the expansion of the whole stage area and backstage area.
Are there some specific architectural items or features that you particularly like in the building?
Yes. The whole building, of course, itself, just the high ceiling and what you look at when you're sitting in the balcony, and you get a grand scope of that beautiful auditorium, the E.L. Wiegand Auditorium. They gave $600,000 for that naming opportunity. But I also love the lobby, and we are hoping to name the lobby for Paul R. Williams, the famed architect, and there is a campaign afoot to raise an additional $150,000 to name that. Baron Hilton, who lives in a home designed by Paul R. Williams, gave $100,000 toward that naming opportunity. I love the lobby. It represents gathering and love and unity and community. during and after and before the shows.
For people who live in northern Nevada, we're lucky we can come by and check out the theater in person. But for those who are in other parts of Nevada, how can they learn more about this building?
Oh, people should call 786-2278, which is our phone number, or they can log on to the Lear Theater website.
So they can take a tour there and they can learn about, I assume that you still are raising money.
Oh, we're definitely raising money. We're asking the whole state of Nevada to be believers in this wonderful project and to join the past believers who have given so much to make it a reality.
The Lear Theater is scheduled for completion in June of 2004. And next, we'll head 90 miles east to Lovelock to explore an historic structure long cherished by local residents.
The Commission for Cultural Affairs was interested in the Pershing County Courthouse for a lot of different reasons. They hadn't had a project in that area. We really wanted to serve that part of Nevada. It also happens to be one of the nation's only historic round courthouse. It's really a remarkable treasure tucked away in rural Nevada right out there on Highway 80.
I-80 now goes right past Lovelock, but if you take the time to get off in downtown Lovelock, you'll find a gem of a building. And to talk about recent improvements here, we meet with Gail Munk, who's a longtime resident.
You know, one of the attractions to the city and the county is the courthouse, and the people who come here by happenstance, and then there are more and more who are coming here by design. They're intending to stop at the courthouse as they pass through. The Pershing County Courthouse is the last courthouse designed by Frederick DeLongchamps and was constructed and finished in 1920. And the unique about it is this round courthouse. The design is a neoclassic, reminiscent of Roman Pantheon style, and it's a circle over a hexagon base. And as you see at the entrance of the courthouse are the columns which support the roof on the portico. It is this round courthouse that is unique. It is the only one that we know of today that is continuing to operate as a courthouse. There is another one back in Pennsylvania, and there are 4 in Texas that are nearly round, so we claim the only operating round courthouse in the United States. The round courtroom was designed with a canvas ceiling and dome-shaped, so that the sound would be focused on the jury box, which is in the center of the room. And then the judge's bench on one, there is no corner in it because it's round, but one is bench on one side. The sound does reflect throughout the room, but again is focused on the center for the jury. The jury is the group that needs to hear. We determined that the history of the county and its culture and the preservation of this particular courthouse needed to be accomplished. In order to reflect that history, we needed a space, and this space was the one, again, the one that could be easiest restored so that we could display for the public and satisfy the request of the tourists traveling through a place where they can visit and see the history of Pershing County and see this unique round courthouse. The room added, I think, to the ability to display in kind of a panoramic view the history. In order for us to accomplish an attractive room for visitors and tourists, one of the things we had to do is to remove some of the steam pipes that were hanging below the beams. And what really attracted our attention to the restoration was the wainscoting on the wall. It was easy to repair. There was some damage, but it was easy to repair and refinish and repaint. If you can just glance around the room and look at the wainscoting here, you'll find, I hope, as we have, that it's a very attractive wall space and suitable for the display of the artifacts that are on the walls.